The baby shower invitation had arrived 3 weeks ago, powder blue with silver lettering. Celebrating baby boy Anderson, it read, with my sister Diane's name prominently displayed alongside her husband Kevin's. There was a note tucked inside in my mother's handwriting. Please try to be happy for your sister. I know this must be difficult for you. Difficult for me. As if watching Diane celebrate her first pregnancy at 35 was some kind of torture for her younger sister who had failed at everything that matters. I'd RSVP'd yes, of course. And I'd marked my calendar for 2 p.m. on Sunday, November 19th. I'd also sent a text to my nanny Clara. Sunday at 2:30. The Rosewood Room at the Grandview Hotel. Bring all 3. Full outfits, the Burberry sets. Now standing in the ornate ballroom of the Grandview Hotel, surrounded by 75 guests cooing over gender reveal decorations and diaper cake centerpieces, I sipped my sparkling water and waited. Charlotte. My mother appeared at my elbow wearing her best St. John's suit. You made it. I wasn't sure you'd come. Why wouldn't I come? I asked. Diane's my sister. Mom's smile was pitying. Well, baby showers can be sensitive for women for women in your situation. My situation, I repeated flatly. Darling, there's no shame in it. Not everyone is meant to be a mother. And not everyone finds the right partner. You're 32, there's still time, but we have to be realistic about your prospects. I took another sip of water. Very realistic. My Aunt Linda approached, arms outstretched for a hug I didn't want. Charlotte, look at you. Still so thin. Are you eating enough? You look stressed. I'm fine, Aunt Linda. And still single? She glanced at my left hand, bare because I'd deliberately left my rings in my purse. You know, my neighbor's son is recently divorced. He's 43 but very successful. I could arrange. No thank you, I said firmly. Diane appeared in a flowing blue maternity dress, glowing with the particular smugness of a woman who'd gotten exactly what she wanted. Behind her trailed Kevin, who worked in pharmaceutical sales and never let anyone forget it. Charlotte. Diane air-kissed both my cheeks. I'm so glad you came. I know how hard this must be for you. Hard? I asked innocently. Well, you know. She gestured vaguely at her belly. Watching everyone else achieve these milestones while you're still searching. Searching for what? Purpose. Family. Success. She smiled that razor-sharp smile she'd perfected in high school. The things that give life meaning. Kevin nodded sympathetically. Diane tells me you're working in healthcare? That's admirable. Everyone needs good nurses. I'm not a nurse, I said for the 100th time. I'm a healthcare adjacent, Diane interrupted. It's complicated, Mom said. Something with medical research. She said it like I told her I collected stamps or folded napkins for a living. I checked my watch. 2:17 p.m. Excuse me, I said. I need to use the restroom. I walked out of the ballroom and texted Clara. On schedule? Her response came immediately. Pulling up now. Parking. Give us 10 minutes. I returned to the ballroom where the party was in full swing. Games were being played. Guess the baby food flavor, measure Diane's belly with ribbon, all the standard baby shower humiliation rituals. My cousin Jessica cornered me near the gift table. Charlotte, I heard you're still in that tiny apartment in Baltimore. Wasn't that supposed to be temporary? It serves its purpose, I said. And you're still driving that old Honda? The one from college. It runs fine. Jessica exchanged a look with her mother, my Aunt Carol. It's just, we worry about you. You're 32 and you seem so adrift. Adrift, I repeated. No career trajectory, no husband, no children, no real stability. Aunt Carol ticked off on her fingers. Honey, it's okay to admit you need help. The family could pitch in, help you get on your feet. That's very generous, I said, but unnecessary. Diane called for everyone's attention. The games were over. It was time for speeches. My mother went first, weeping about her firstborn daughter finally becoming a mother herself. I'd lost hope, she said dramatically. After years of watching Diane focus on her career, I worried she'd never give me grandchildren. But here we are. My beautiful daughter, married to a wonderful man, about to give me my first grandchild. Kevin's mother spoke next, equally emotional. Then Diane's best friend from college who told stories about Diane's journey to motherhood that somehow made pregnancy sound like an Olympic achievement. Then Diane stood, one hand on her belly, and gestured to me. "I want to say something to my sister Charlotte," she announced. "Oh no. Charlotte, I know this is hard for you. I know you're struggling. Still no kids and no money." She smiled sweetly, head tilted in manufactured sympathy. "Such a tragedy." The room made sympathetic noises. Several women actually said, "Ah." "But I want you to know," Diane continued, "that being an aunt is still special. You can still be part of this baby's life, even if you never have children of your own. Even if you never get married. Even if your career never takes off. You can still have purpose through my son." Mom actually had tears running down her face. She reached over and patted my hand. "It's okay to accept you failed, sweetheart. We still love you." I looked at my watch. 2:28 p.m. "That's very kind, Diane," I said calmly. "Can I say something?" "Of course." She sat down, gracious in her victory. I stood, still holding my glass of sparkling water. "I'm happy for you and Kevin. Truly. Becoming parents is a beautiful thing." Diane beamed. "And I appreciate everyone's concern about my life," I continued. "I know it looks like I'm struggling. The small apartment, the old car, the job nobody seems to understand. I know you all worry." Vigorous nodding around the room. "But I want to clear up a few misconceptions." I checked my watch one more time. 2:29 p.m. "Starting with the assumption that I don't have children." The room went quiet. "What?" Mom asked. The ballroom doors opened. Clara entered first. My full-time live-in nanny, a Mary Poppins-level professional I'd hired 2 years ago when I went back to work. She was pushing a custom triple stroller. In that stroller sat my 2-year-old triplets. Olivia wore a Burberry dress with matching headband. Lucas wore tiny Burberry trousers and a sweater vest. Emma wore a Burberry jumper with patent leather shoes. They were perfect. Beautiful. The room erupted in gasps. Behind Clara walked my husband, Dr. James Whitmore. He wore his Johns Hopkins ID badge over his button-down shirt and carried a diaper bag over his shoulder like he'd done it 1,000 times. Because he had. "Sorry we're late," James said cheerfully to the room at large. The triplets' swimming lesson ran long. Traffic from Baltimore was murder. Clara parked the stroller next to me. All 3 of my children looked up at me with identical gray eyes. My eyes, and smiled. "Mama." Emma reached for me. I unbuckled her and lifted her into my arms. She immediately grabbed my pearl necklace, her favorite game. The silence in the room was deafening. Diane's champagne glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. Mom stood up so fast she knocked over her chair. Clara, bless her, maintained perfect professional composure. "Shall I take them to the play area you mentioned, Mrs. Whitmore? Or did you want family introductions first?" "Mrs. Whitmore?" Mom whispered. James crossed the room and kissed my cheek, then ruffled Lucas's hair. Lucas giggled and grabbed for his father's watch. Another favorite game. "How was the party so far?" James asked me quietly. "Educational," I replied. He looked at the shocked faces around the room and his mouth quirked. "I can imagine." Aunt Linda found her voice first. "Charlotte, you have children." "Triplets," I confirmed. "Olivia, Lucas, and Emma. They turned 2 last month. We had a very small family party. Just us." But, Diane stood, one hand on her belly, looking between me and my children like she was watching a tennis match. "You never said anything. You never mentioned. You never asked," I said simply. "You assumed I didn't have children because you never saw them. It didn't occur to you that I might have a private life I don't share with people who treat me like a failure." "A private life?" Mom's voice was shrill. "You got married. You had triplets? And you didn't tell your family?" "I did get married," I said. 4 years ago. Very small ceremony at the courthouse. Just James and me." James waved at the room. "Hi everyone. I'm James Whitmore, Charlotte's husband. Head of pediatrics at Johns Hopkins Hospital." He said it casually like he was mentioning he worked at a coffee shop. Multiple people pulled out their phones. Someone gasped. "Johns Hopkins?" "The Johns Hopkins." "That's the one," James confirmed. "I also run the pediatric cancer research program. Charlotte and I met when she was finishing her PhD in biomedical engineering." PhD. Jessica squeaked. Charlotte has a PhD? Johns Hopkins, same as me, James said. She graduated top of her program. Now she runs the Medical Device Innovation Lab at the hospital. Her most recent patent just got FDA approval. A neonatal monitoring system that's going to save thousands of premature babies' lives. I watched this information hit my family like physical blows. But your apartment, Mom said weakly. The small apartment in Baltimore. We own it, I said. We also own the row house next door, which we renovated and connected. We have about 4,500 square feet total for bedrooms, a home office for me, a study for James. The apartment address is what we give out for privacy. The full house address is unlisted. The Honda, Aunt Carol said faintly. I also drive a Tesla Model X, I said. 7 seats, necessary with triplets. But the Honda is paid off and reliable for quick trips. Why buy a new car when I don't need one? Diane sat down heavily. Kevin stood behind her, one hand on her shoulder, looking utterly lost. Clara cleared her throat delicately. Mrs. Whitmore, the children are getting restless. Shall I take them for a walk? Please, I said. There's a courtyard outside. 30 minutes. Perfect. Clara, ever professional, pushed the stroller toward the doors. As she passed Diane, she said clearly, Congratulations on your pregnancy, Ms. Anderson. Your first child is very exciting. I've been with the Whitmore family since the triplets were 3 months old. Multiples are quite an adventure. Then she was gone, taking my 3 perfect children with her. The room remained frozen. James looked around at the shocked faces and sighed. I'm going to guess Charlotte's family didn't know about us? She never said anything. Mom burst out. Not one word. Not about you, not about the babies, not about her career, nothing. Did you ask? James said mildly. Because in the 4 years I've known Charlotte, she's mentioned that her family doesn't really engage with her life. That's not fair, Diane protested. We invited her to everything. She came to my engagement party, my wedding, And at each event, did you ask her about her life? James interrupted. Or did you talk about your life and assume she had nothing worth sharing? Silence. I thought so. James looked at me. Want to get out of here? Not yet, I said. I think we need to have a conversation first. I set Emma's empty seat back and faced my family. Really faced them. Here's what you all assumed, I said. You assumed I was single because you never saw me with anyone. You assumed I was childless because I didn't post photos on social media. You assumed I was poor because I dress simply and drive an old car. You assumed my career was meaningless because I didn't brag about my achievements at family dinners. I paused, letting that sink in. You assumed all of that without once asking me directly about my life. Not one of you said, Charlotte, how are you? What are you working on? Tell me about your world. Instead, you created a narrative, poor Charlotte the failure, and you treated me accordingly. Mom was crying now. Real tears, not the theatrical ones from earlier. Every family gathering, I continued, someone made a comment about my lacking a husband. My lack of children. My lack of success. It became a running joke. Charlotte's still searching for purpose. Charlotte hasn't figured out her life yet. We were worried about you, Aunt Linda said weakly. No, you weren't, I said. You were judging me. There's a difference. Worry would have looked like genuine questions and offers of support. What I got was pity and condescension. Diane stood up again. Charlotte, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You didn't want to know, I corrected. Diane, when was the last time you asked me about my work? My real work, not the dismissive, healthcare-adjacent nonsense. She opened her mouth. Closed it. I don't remember. Never, I said. The answer is never. You've never asked because you decided my work wasn't important enough to care about. Kevin spoke up. To be fair, medical device innovation is pretty niche. Most people wouldn't understand. I developed a monitoring system that detects sepsis in newborns 12 hours earlier than current technology, I said flatly. That 12 hours means the difference between life and death. My device is now in 70 hospitals across the country. We're projecting it will save over 2,000 babies' lives per year. Kevin went pale. But you're right, I continued. Most people wouldn't understand. So why would I share that with people who've already decided I'm a failure? James put his hand on my shoulder. You okay? I'm fine, I said. Then to the room, I'm not telling you all this to be cruel. I'm telling you because you need to understand something. Your assumptions about people, about me, hurt. Your casual dismissals, your pitying looks, your helpful suggestions about my neighbor's divorced son. All of it told me that you didn't value me unless I fit your narrow definition of success. We do value you, Mom said desperately. Charlotte, sweetheart, we love you. Do you? I asked. Do you love me? Or do you love the idea of me fitting into your expectations? That's not fair, Diane said. You hid your whole life from us. You lied. I never lied, I corrected. I maintained privacy. There's a difference. I didn't tell you about James because the one time I mentioned I was dating someone, Aunt Carol spent 20 minutes explaining why he was probably using me. I didn't tell you about the triplets because Mom spent years telling me I was running out of time to have children, while I was literally pregnant with 3 of them. Aunt Carol flinched. I didn't share my work because Dad told me a PhD was a waste of time for a woman, and I should focus on finding a husband instead. I looked at my father who'd been silent this whole time. Right, Dad? He was sitting at a table in the back looking older than I'd ever seen him. I said that. God help me, I said that. So I made a choice, I said. I built a life that made me happy. I married a man I love. I had children I adore. I pursued a career that saves lives. And I kept it all private because sharing it with you felt like handing you ammunition to criticize or diminish. The room was quiet except for someone crying softly. I think it was Jessica. James squeezed my shoulder. We should probably go. The triplets need their afternoon snack. Wait, Diane said. Please. Charlotte, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was horrible to you. I made assumptions. I was cruel. Her voice broke. You have triplets. You've had them for 2 years and I never met them. I'm their aunt and I never met them. That was my choice, I said. I chose to protect them from people who might treat them the way you treated me. That landed like a bomb. Mom stood up. Can we meet them? Please? Your children, our grandchildren, can we please meet them properly? I looked at James. He raised an eyebrow. Your call. Not today, I said finally. Today was supposed to be about celebrating Diane's baby. Let's not derail that completely. I don't care about the stupid shower, Diane said, crying now. Charlotte, please. I want to know my nieces and nephew. I want to know you. The real you. That will take time, I said. Trust takes time to build. Especially when it's been broken this thoroughly. We'll do whatever it takes, Mom said. Charlotte, please. Give us a chance. I studied them. My mother, my sister, my aunts and cousins. All looking genuinely devastated. All finally seeing me, really seeing me, for the first time in years. Here's what I need, I said. I need you to stop making assumptions about people's lives. I need you to ask genuine questions instead of offering pity. I need you to respect that people can be successful in ways that don't match your expectations. And I need you to understand that family doesn't mean you get automatic access to my private life. That has to be earned. We'll earn it, Diane said immediately. Whatever it takes. I'll earn it. James's phone buzzed. He checked it and smiled. Clara says Emma just told a pigeon it was very handsome. She's documenting for the baby book. Despite everything, I laughed. Emma's very into complimenting animals lately. Can we see? Mom asked hesitantly. Just a photo? Please. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my camera roll. I had thousands of photos. The triplets at the park, the triplets baking with James, the triplets meeting their first snowfall, the triplets covered in spaghetti sauce. I turned the phone around and showed them a recent favorite. All 3 kids squeezed into James's lap while he read them a story, all 4 of them laughing at something. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Diane made a sound like a sob. Even Aunt Linda teared up. They're beautiful, Aunt Carol whispered. Charlotte, they're so beautiful. They are, I agreed. They're smart and funny and kind. Olivia loves music. Lucas loves building blocks. Emma loves books. And all 3 of them are growing up knowing they're valued for who they are, not who anyone expects them to be. I put my phone away. Now James and I are going to go meet Clara and our children. We're going to go home and have dinner and give the triplets a bath and read stories and put them to bed. That's our life. That's what we do. Can we call you? Mom asked. This week? Can we talk? You can call, I said. I'll decide if I answer. Fair, she whispered. James and I walked toward the door. I paused and turned back. Diane, congratulations on your pregnancy. Sincerely. Being a parent is extraordinary. Exhausting and messy and wonderful. I hope you and Kevin have an amazing experience. She nodded, unable to speak. And Mom? Dad? Everyone? I'm not telling you all this to punish you. I'm telling you because if we're going to have a relationship going forward, it needs to be based on honesty. You need to see me clearly. And I need to know you can accept me for who I actually am. We can, Dad said from the back of the room. Charlotte, we can. We will. I hope so, I said. James and I left the ballroom. We found Clara in the courtyard with the triplets. Lucas had found a stick and was conducting an imaginary orchestra. Emma was examining leaves with intense concentration. Olivia was singing to herself. How'd it go? Clara asked. About as expected, I said, scooping up Emma. Let's go home. We loaded the triplets into the Tesla. As James drove, I got a flood of text. Mom, I'm so sorry. I love you. Please let me make this right. Diane, I can't stop crying. I was so horrible. Please give me a chance. Dad, proud of you. Should have said it years ago. I'm saying it now. Aunt Linda. Those babies are gorgeous. You're an amazing mother. I'm sorry I never saw it. Even Jessica. You're kind of a badass. I'm sorry we treated you like you weren't. I showed the text to James at a red light. That's progress, he said. Maybe, I agreed. Are you going to forgive them? I looked in the rearview mirror at our 3 children, all falling asleep in their car seats. Eventually, I said. But on my terms. When I'm ready. That's my wife, James said. Setting healthy boundaries like a boss. I smiled. I learned from the best pediatrician in the country. Head of pediatrics, he corrected. Get my title right. Sorry, Dr. Whitmore. That's better, Dr. Whitmore. We drove home to our connected row houses, our 4,500 square feet of deliberately private life. We gave the triplets their snacks. We played with blocks and read books and sang songs. We gave them their bath, all 3 at once, which was chaos incarnate. And when they were finally asleep, James and I collapsed on the couch with glasses of wine. Think they'll actually change? He asked. My family? I don't know. But I gave them the truth. What they do with it is up to them. And if they can't handle it, then we keep living our life exactly as we have been. Happy, private, on our own terms. My phone buzzed. A video call from Mom. I looked at James. He shrugged. Your choice. I answered. Mom's face appeared, swollen from crying. I won't keep you. I just wanted to say goodnight. And to tell you that your father and I are going to family therapy. We realized we have work to do. That's good, Mom. And Charlotte? I'd like to buy gifts for the triplets. For their birthday that I missed. And for Christmas. Would that be okay? Or is it too soon? I thought about it. What kind of gifts? Whatever you think they'd like. You know them. I don't. Not yet. But I'd like to. Olivia likes musical instruments. Lucas likes building toys. Emma likes books. Mom was writing this down. Actually writing it down. Musical instruments, building toys, books. Got it. Can I send them? Or would you prefer I wait? You can send them, I said. But Mom, this doesn't fix everything. I know, she said. This is just step 1. I have a lot of steps to take. But I'm going to take them. I promise. After we hung up, James pulled me close. How are you feeling? Tired, I admitted. Validated. Hopeful. All of it. That's fair. I spent years hiding who I was from them. Part of me wishes I'd done this sooner. And the other part? The other part knows I wasn't ready sooner. I needed to build my confidence first. My career, my family, my life. I needed to be secure enough that their opinions couldn't destroy me. Are you secure now? I thought about my 3 sleeping children upstairs. My brilliant husband beside me. My groundbreaking research. My patents. My publications. My life. Yes, I said. I'm secure now. 3 weeks later, packages arrived. Age-appropriate musical instruments from a specialty toy store. High-quality wooden building blocks. Beautiful children's books. The card read, for Olivia, Lucas and Emma. With love from Grandma and Grandpa. We can't wait to meet you properly, I took a photo of the triplets examining their new toys and sent it to the family group chat. They love their gifts. Thank you. Mom. Can we video call this weekend? Just to say hello. Me. Saturday at 10 a.m. 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes. Diane. Can I join? Please. Me. Fine. But this is about the kids, not about processing your feelings. That comes later. Diane. Understood. Thank you. Saturday at 10 a.m. we did the video call. Mom and Dad and Diane all on the screen, tears in their eyes as they met Olivia, Lucas and Emma properly for the first time. Emma showed them her new books. Lucas demonstrated his block tower. Olivia played a chaotic but enthusiastic song on her toy xylophone. My family laughed and asked gentle questions and didn't make a single assumption about what they were seeing. It was a start. A small start. But a start nonetheless. And as I watched my children show off for their grandparents and aunt, I realized something. I didn't need them to accept me. I'd already accepted myself. Their acceptance now was a gift they were giving me, not something I needed to be whole. I was Dr. Charlotte Whitmore. Wife. Mother. Innovator. Lifesaver. And I'd built this extraordinary life in secret because that's what felt safe. But maybe, just maybe, it was time to let some light in. On my terms. My time. With my boundaries firmly in place. Because I wasn't the failure they'd imagined. I was the success they'd never bothered to see. And now they were finally looking.